Hi. So I kind of just felt like talking to you, I guess. Whoever's watching this. This is gonna be kind of like a FaceTime, I guess. I don't have a tripod, and I don't feel like setting up a tower of items to set my phone on. So I think I'll just hold my phone and see how that goes. But I kind of miss like YouTube communities. I don't know. I've been kind of reflecting on things with like TikTok getting banned and then coming back, and uh thinking about like old YouTube and such things. And I don't know, I kind of like YouTube more than TikTok. It feels a little more like, I don't know, and also my algorithm is probably biased because I've been on YouTube for so long and I have like a lot of educational content on YouTube, and YouTube just feels like a lot more nourishing to me than TikTok. And TikTok, I don't know, there's just kind of this like grossness to it. Sometimes it's fun, and I won't say that I'm not saying I don't like it, cuz like I definitely get on there. But like I don't really feel like talking or like sharing more like things that I've been thinking of sharing online on TikTok. I feel like that's something more for YouTube, I think. That's just what I'm thinking. And I guess all we can really do is just think and act, right? So it's like, isn't that what life kind of is? Is you're just thinking things and then deciding whether or not to do them? Which brings me to my next point. I have so many thoughts. Where do I put them? I don't mean that in like an overwhelming way or like anxiety. I've just been like, that was just a thought that came up into my head probably a couple weeks ago. And I thought it would be an interesting video prompt, or even journal prompt. But I've been more committed to art the last month or so, and I actually did some spiritual work on that, and that's been really interesting to experience because I could probably talk more about that in a separate video, but I basically asked to be pushed more as a creator and artist. And then I was pushed. And I also felt like in that I have been called and pulled a little bit deeper in myself. You might call that shadow work. It feels like a deepening, which I guess makes sense because most art, or at least meaningful art, doesn't really come from shallow places. But then we get more into subjective things, so can kind of just leave that alone. But there are probably other factors to that deepening as well. Has been winter, so shadow season, as they say. I've actually been having a little bit of depression some of this winter. It doesn't necessarily feel related to like the daylight, but honestly, it could be. So many factors. I have so many thoughts. Where do I put them? I Yeah, it's been hard to do things lately. It's been a little bit easier to write and to draw. So I'm grateful for that. It's a little harder to like do laundry and clean my car or talk to friends and answer messages or business messages. just feels hard, which isn't fun because there are points in life where we have to push through and push ourselves to do more and grow and have discipline. But, there's also the other aspect where it's like you should be following the path that feels most easy to you, is more in aligned with your purpose or your true self. I guess there's a line there in between those where it's like, where do we push ourselves, and where do we back off if we're experiencing resistance? Especially with creative things, it can be really hard to find that line, especially if it's related to your income, which is easy to allow that to be related to your self-worth as well. And money is important. Obviously, it's how we take care of ourselves and buy ourselves the things that we need or the things that we want. But I do feel like I've been in a little bit of a growth spurt, but in more of an unseen way. Like, my roots are growing deeper. I haven't necessarily shown that growth. I've been feeling a lot of things internally. It'll be interesting to kind of like get back into the season as spring is approaching and work kind of picks up a little bit more. I started wearing my septum again. I felt really drawn to getting this conch piercing right here. Can't really see it from here. And then I asked ChatGPT what meanings of various piercings, particularly this one, and then also the septum, because I haven't worn my septum in quite some time, and I kind of felt drawn to wearing it, and so I did a little bit of research, because I tend to forget what things mean. Like, I've researched it before, but I've never, I forgot. Okay, it's okay it's okay I forget. Not perfect. But the septum piercing does have a lot to do with the breath. I wonder, I'd have to ask ChatGPT again because I've already forgotten, which I don't love about. I feel like I would like to improve my cognitive function a little bit more to where I have a little bit better memory, because I used to remember things more and maybe be a little smarter. I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I remember it is connected to the breath. It's connected to, I think, the third eye energy point. And I do kind of feel like if I meditate on it, I do kind of feel it affecting my energy centers and my intuition a little bit. On a sensory level, sometimes it bothers me, which is why I stopped wearing it in the first place. More of on a neurodivergent level. But I've been trying to like breathe through that and ignore that. Also with hunger, speaking of sensory issues, I've been trying to like consciously breathe through like hunger rather than, and I don't mean like starving myself. I mean like sometimes when I'm hungry, I'll get like upset and like angry, and like I don't know how to like react or speak, or I just like I can't do anything until I eat. And I think that there's a link to my nervous system with that would be beneficial for me to calm down and be able to like function through that. You might relate that to kind of like a cold plunge, like how a cold plunge is uncomfortable, but you learn to relax and breathe through it, if that makes sense. My arm is getting tired from holding the phone. If you haven't noticed, it is hard for me to speak without fidgeting with something. I always feel like I need to be walking on the phone or holding something. I'm not sure what exactly that speaks to, but it's always like that. I didn't brush my hair today, which is kind of crazy for me, honestly. Like, I am not usually like that, but I just, like, this morning, I had to go take my body art application because I finally finished my tattoo hourly requirements. And it took me a while to, like, get all of that paperwork together, but I finally took that in today. That was my goal, was to have that in today. Actually, I had a goal to have it in a while ago, but I digress. Finally got it in, and this morning I was really tired, and so it was kind of just about, like, getting up and getting there. And I brushed my hair, like, with my fingers, but I didn't, like, actually brush it, which that might be the first time that that's ever happened, which I feel like both speaks to a slight downfall in my ability to take care of myself and my current mental state, but also it's important to do new things because it creates new neural pathways. So I have so many thoughts. Where do I put them? I'm wondering if I have anything else beneficial to say or that I feel like speaking. I think that might be all of my ramblings for right now. But thank you for listening. If you listened, hopefully someone found this either entertaining, insightful, or relatable, or something. I would like to explore perhaps speaking more in video format like this and discussing topics and internal ramblings, experiences, perspectives. But I think this is a good place to cut it off. Yeah, whenever you're watching this, I hope you find a little bit more peace within yourself wherever you're at, able to make decisions that serve your best purpose. And yes, I bid thee good night.